We are starting on page 6 of our digital notebook for lesson 3, developing complex cultures. Please notice all 3 questions are red numbers with yellow highlighting, so we know those are on the mastery check. The page we will start on in the e-text, you'll click next 4 times. At the top it says, when did people start to farm? You will scroll down to how did domesticated plants and animals change people's lives, and that is where we are going to start today. If you are in the textbook, we are on page 25.
How did domesticated plants and animals change people's lives? Over time, people learned to domesticate plants and animals, especially those that they used for food. To domesticate means to change the growth of plants or behavior of animals in ways that are useful for humans. Widespread domestication marked the birth of farming.
All right, the first question is in the beginning of this paragraph. What can you do with domesticated animals? So you'll find the answer in this first few sentences of this paragraph. What can you do with domesticated animals? Get that answer and then come on back. The next question is going to be in the second part of that same paragraph. Number 5, what happens during a revolution? Let's listen, and then you can get that answer.
The shift from hunting to farming was so important that historians call it the Neolithic Agricultural Revolution. A revolution is a complete change in ways of thinking, working, or living.
Number 5, what happens during a revolution? You'll find that answer in this one circled sentence. Go ahead, pause my video and get that answer now. All right, number 6, why did people domesticate plants? You will find that answer in this paragraph. Once we start reading, it'll start here, but when it reads this paragraph right here, that is where you will find the answer to number 6.
Even before the agricultural revolution, wild wolves developed into dogs, which humans then domesticated. Dogs provided help in the hunt, as well as companionship and protection. Domesticated plants, or crops, became a reliable source of food. Grains such as wheat, rice, or maize became chief food sources for entire societies. Many animals also provided food, not only meat, but eggs, milk, and even honey. Horses and oxen became work animals. Sheep and llamas had coats of hair that were used to make clothing.
All right, number 6. Why did people domesticate plants? You will find that answer in this circled yellow paragraph. Pause my video and get that now. All right, we are going to move on to page 7 of our digital notebook. In the textbook, we're just moving on to that next paragraph, starting with domesticated animals. We are on page 26 in the textbook. So let's go ahead and listen now.
Domesticated animals such as horses, sheep, and cattle were easier to control. People who lived in places where growing food was difficult traveled to different places with their animals. By moving to new areas, the animals would find new grasslands to eat from. The people herding or guiding the animals would use them for food and clothing. This way of life was called pastoral nomadism. Nomads are people who move from place to place with their herds.
All right, before this paragraph is read to you, number 7. What were some differences between wild and domesticated plants? So that answer you will find here in this blue highlighted paragraph. Let's go ahead and listen to it now.
At first, there was little difference between wild and domesticated breeds. But over time, people selected the seeds of the plants that produced the best crops to sow again. As a result, domesticated plants began to produce more abundant food that tasted better, were larger, and easier to cook. A wild tomato, for example, is the size of a cherry, but a domesticated tomato is the size of an orange. By contrast, some breeds of domesticated goats, pigs, and cattle are smaller than their wild ancestors. Smaller animals may have been easier to manage.
All right, again, what were some differences between wild and domesticated plants? You'll find that answer in this blue highlighted paragraph. All right, let's move on to number 8. What new tools helped farmers to clear their land and harvest grains? You will find that answer in this short green highlighted paragraph.
What new tools did people make? Farmers invented new tools. They used axes to cut down trees for farmland and sickles to harvest grain. The grain was then ground into flour with grinding stones or hand mills.
Number 8. What new tools helped farmers to clear their land and harvest grains? You'll find those answers right here. You might want to look these up. It's kind of cool to see what these what these things are, what they look like. So if you type in the word into Google, it's pretty cool to see what they look like. Number 9, and notice this is a yellow highlighted question. Why do you think people create new tools? That answer will be in this paragraph that I'm going to have read to you right now.
All of these tools were at first made out of stone. Later, people mined for bronze and iron and learned how to smelt or use heat to remove metals from a material. They used these metals to create more efficient tools. That is why historians refer to different stages of early history as the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age.
Again, number 9, why do you think people create new tools? The answer will be in this yellow circled paragraph.